I read a quote from Arthur C. Clarke which said that a sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. And that's really true. If you go back, say, 300 years, the things that we take for granted today you'd be burned at the stake for. Being able to fly, that's crazy. Being able to see over long distances, being able to communicate, having effectively with the internet a group mind of sorts, and having access to all the world's information instantly from almost anywhere on the earth. This is stuff that really would be magic, would be considered magic in times past. In fact, I think it actually goes beyond that, because there are many things that we take for granted today that weren't even imagined in times past. They weren't even in the realm of magic. So it actually goes beyond that. So I thought, well, if I can do some of those things, basically if I can advance technology, then that's like magic, and that would be really cool. I also had sort of a slight existential crisis, because I was trying to figure out what does it all mean? Like, what's the purpose of things? And I came to the conclusion that if we can advance the knowledge of the world, if we can do things that expand the scope and scale of consciousness, then we're better able to ask the right questions and become more enlightened, and that's really the only way forward. I mean, it's worth noting, as I'm sure people are aware, that the Earth has been around for 4 billion years, and civilization, at least in terms of having writing, has been around for 10,000 years, and that's being generous. So it's really somewhat of a tenuous existence that civilization and consciousness, as we know it, has been on Earth. And I think I'm actually fairly optimistic about the future of Earth. So I don't want to sort of people to have the wrong impression that I think we're all about to die. I think things will most likely be okay for a long time on Earth, but not for sure, but most likely. You guys are the magicians of the 21st century. Don't let anything hold you back. Imagination is the limit, and go out there and create some magic.
In the history of spaceflight, only 4 entities have launched a space capsule into orbit and successfully brought it back to the Earth: the United States, Russia, China, and Elon Musk.
I think it's important that humanity become a multi-planet species. I think most people would agree that a future where we are a spacefaring civilization is inspiring and exciting, compared with one where we are forever confined to Earth until some eventual extinction event. That's really why I started SpaceX.
There are American heroes who don't like this idea. Neil Armstrong, Gene Cernan have both testified against commercial spaceflight in the way that you're developing it, and I wonder what you think of that.
Those guys are, those guys are heroes of mine, so it's really tough.
They inspired you to do this, didn't they?
Yes.
And to see them casting stones in your direction.
It's difficult.
Pack this in?
Never.
Why not?
I don't ever give up.
This is a tricky business.
Tricky. Yeah, yeah, I wish it wasn't so hard.
We want the exciting things that we see in sci-fi, in like sci-fi movies, books, we want that to come true one day.
3 minus 2, 2, 1, 0, ignition.
They're in an unglamorous building, in the middle of nowhere, in kind of a industrial zone. But when you walk into the doors and all of a sudden you see they're making these pristine, gorgeous rockets, it feels like you've walked into a factory on another planet.
No one has ever really contemplated this in a serious way. In the beginning, we thought, this is so crazy. What are we doing trying to come up with something like this? And then over time, we're like, yeah, I know, it can definitely be done. And now we're just kind of arguing over the details.
I went to Russia to look at buying a refurbished ICBM, which is a very trippy experience. It was very bizarre. And when I tell people that, they're like, what?
I went to Russia 3 times to look at buying a refurbished ICBM. Because that was the best deal. And I can tell you it was very weird going there in late 2001, 2002, going to the Russian rocket forces and saying, I'd like to buy 2 of your biggest rockets, but you can keep the nuke.
Musk made 3 trips to Russia trying to buy an intercontinental ballistic missile called the Dnieper. Turns out the Dnieper was so expensive his idea never flew. So Musk decided that the only way to get an affordable rocket was to build it himself, and he started SpaceX.
The odds of me coming into the rocket business, not knowing anything about rockets, not having ever built anything, I mean, I would have to be insane if I thought the odds were in my favor.
How did you get the expertise to be the chief technology officer of a rocket ship company?
Well, I do have a physics background. That's helpful as a foundation. And then I read a lot of books and talked to a lot of smart people.
You're self-taught?
Yeah. Well, self-taught, yes, meaning I don't have an aerospace degree.
Metal comes in one end of this factory.
Yeah.
Spaceships come out the other.
Yes.
You know, there are American heroes who don't like this idea. Neil Armstrong, Gene Cernan have both testified against commercial spaceflight in the way that you're developing it.
Those guys are, yeah. You know, those guys are heroes of mine, so it's really tough.
They inspired you to do this, didn't they?
Yes.
And to see them casting stones in your direction.
It's difficult. But you know, like, creating a company is almost like having a child. So it's sort of like, how do you say your child should not have food?
So once you have the company, you have to feed it and nurse it and take care of it, even if it ruins you.
Yeah.
In 2008, the rocket company is not going well. You've had 3 failures.
Right.
The car company is hemorrhaging money.
Yeah.
And the American economy has tanked in the worst recession since the Great Depression.
Right.
What was that year like for you?
And I'm getting divorced, by the way, to add to that. That was definitely the worst year of my life.
But at the age of 37, he hit rock bottom. His first rockets failed to reach orbit.
End of 2008. How did you get through that period of crisis?
Yeah. Can we just break for a second?
I remember waking up the Sunday before Christmas in 2008 and thinking to myself, man, I never thought I was someone who could ever be capable of a nervous breakdown. But I felt this was the closest I've ever come. Because it seemed pretty dark. We were running on fumes at that point. We had virtually no money.
So a fourth failure.
A fourth failure would have been absolutely game over.
Done. SpaceX bankrupt.
Yeah, it's bad enough to have 3 strikes. Having 4 strikes, it's really kaput.
Flight 4 was flawless. In Musk's world, it lit the darkness.
Stage separation.
Separation confirmed.
NASA called and told us that we'd won a $1.5 billion contract. And I couldn't even hold the phone. It's like, I just blurted out, I love you guys.
They saved you.
Yeah, they did.
Only 4 entities have launched a space capsule into orbit and successfully brought it back. The United States, Russia, China, and Elon Musk. But when critics say you can't do this, your answer to them is,
we've done it. This is bad.
Standing up. Look at this. Look at it. It's just sitting there. Look at that. What? Holy smokes, man.
Heavy lift capability is the critical technology needed to enable human missions to Mars, and a reusable heavy lift vehicle is the critical technology needed to settle Mars.
Reminder, side booster engine startup is at T-minus 7 seconds. SpaceX Falcon Heavy, go for launch.
3, 2, 1. Successful separation!
Yes, light.
Bob, Doug, on behalf of the entire SpaceX team, it's been a huge honor to help you get ready for today's historic mission. Know that we're with you, have an amazing flight, and enjoy those views of our beautiful planet. Dragon SpaceX seats are in the launch position.
We copy. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff of the Falcon 9 and Crew Dragon. Go NASA, go SpaceX, Godspeed, Bob and Doug. America has launched. So rises a new era of American spaceflight, and with it the ambitions of a new generation continuing the dream. We have brace for splashdown. Copy, brace for splashdown.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition. We have liftoff.